Yo, man, what's going on, everybody, man? You already know what time it is and what the motto, whatever you want to say. By the title and thumbnail, you already know what to expect. But for you of those who can't read and possibly you have hard time seeing, today's title of the video is creepy, crazy, strange, ridiculous TikToks that will possibly change your mind and, more importantly, change your reality. Hopefully, it'll wake you up and open your mind just to show you that these things that go on in the world could possibly be deceiving. But I don't want to do too much talking. Make sure if you all enjoy the video that you give it a huge like, and let's go ahead and get into this crazy episode.
The Titanic never sank. You wouldn't believe me, would you? But listen to this. The owner of the boat, J.P. Morgan, actually had two boats. He had the Titanic and he had the Olympic. And the Olympic was a little bit older and a little bit more run down, and it was also in some accidents. So the theory is that J.P. Morgan sank the boat on purpose because he knew he would get a lot of money. He did it for the insurance money. But why sink the newly built Titanic when you could scratch off the paint, swap the names, and sink the Olympic? Instead, he just painted the word Titanic over the Olympic. It gets worse. Guess who was on that boat? All of J.P. Morgan's business competitors. Wow. And not one of them made it out. Oh my God. Wow. But guess who wasn't on the boat? J.P. Morgan. He canceled minutes before it left because he knew it was going to sink. Wow. And there was a guy named James Fenton who survived and worked on the boat. And on his deathbed, his last words were, "The Titanic never sank. It was the Olympic." And he said, "The Titanic never sank." You wouldn't.
Is this true? Let me make sure that this is real, because this definitely finna change my reality on everything, even though it might not make things better. But let me see who owned the Titanic. It said corrected fact. J.P. Morgan did not sink the Titanic to push forward plan. So it says in here that he did not sink it to move forward plans. But that is crazy that they said there was plenty of billionaires and millionaires on that on the actual boat of the Titanic. And that is crazy that it was his nemesis in a way and nobody made it. That is crazy. If you ask me, that don't seem like a coincidence, but hey, if facts saying that it's facts, then it's not up to me to tell the facts, if that makes sense.
Jesus Christ.
Did you hear what Elon Musk said on the Full Send podcast a few months ago? They start talking about cataclysms and ice ages. He says,
"There's deep rabbit hole on ice ages. Deep rabbit hole."
He knows. Look at these topics that we're into: cataclysms, lost ancient technology.
Magnetic poles.
That's the one thing.
There was probably something significant that happened in the last ice age, because we don't see any evidence of writing, and that was about 10,000 years ago.
This is mainstream science. The poles do flip. These happens in cycles of 6,500 years. It's a planet flip 90 degree. The Earth essentially does a standstill. The sun will stay in the same spot, causing heating we've never experienced. And here's the wild thing, is that a continental-sized tsunami being 2 miles high. Well, I showed you the Emikusi volcano in Africa in the Sahara, which is at 11,300 feet, that has salt as well as evidence of gastropods, sea life.
That's 2 miles high.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's crazy. Have anybody heard of this? Can anybody confirm this down below? Not Diddy, man. Come on. Not Diddy, y'all. Not Diddy, y'all.
What's up, snitches?
It's indeed a pleasure to meet you.
Oh, did as you know, a bitch gotta stay dipped.
Indeed.
What?
Nah, that's crazy. That is crazy.
All right, let's get back to making this smash. Hey, Blizzy Rock, let's hit him one.
Yo!
No! What you talking about? My boy just killed it in there.
Yeah, don't front on Blitz. He's spitting high five.
Oh, girl, you the one that's high five.
No.
If it wasn't my man's mom, I'd tear that up.
No.
Thank you.
No.
To turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say I'm so free.
Nah, that is crazy. Integrity. Him and Monique was talking about that integrity, and they not giving it up. I never seen this clip of Diddy. I don't even know what movie this is. Like, to do that on television is wild. They'd never get me to do no stuff like that. I'm sorry. Ever.
Listen, man, you got to repent. You playing with the wrong one. I don't know who hurt you or what happened. I'm praying for your soul. But notice how people continue to make a mockery of Christianity and the world doesn't jump to the defense like, hey, you shouldn't do that. That's offensive. But let it be Islam. Lil Nas, I dare you to do the same thing with Islam. I know you ain't going to do it because you know what's going to happen to you. Right? Let me tell you, all y'all that support Lil Nas, they're going to go buy the album, you opening yourself up to a curse because keep playing with my God. You're going to answer for that, right? It's demonic. You opening yourself up to demonic spirits. I just want y'all to know it's only Jesus' name that they take in vain in the movies. You gotta wake up. There's a reason why they don't worry about these other religions and why the world will jump to the defense of these other religions. They're not going to defend Jesus. They're not going to defend the truth because that's not how the world moves. They'll defend delusion. They'll defend something that's going to lead you down to hell if you follow it. But Jesus, they're not going to defend because Jesus is the only way. Wake up, y'all. We in a spiritual war. They want to act crazy like this. We got to be bold with our faith. You bold with disrespecting my God, I'm going to be bold with my faith, and I'm going to be bold about the truth. Hey, listen, man, you got to
defending what he believe in, and I can respect it. And the crazy thing is, I've been hearing a lot about this Lil Nas situation. I need to look up. I've been hearing a lot of people coming for him and upset at what he did. Can anybody confirm what Lil Nas did? He tried to do something. Let me see. I got to look. I know that it's on TikTok. All I got to do is look on TikTok and go down to it.
Time around, you probably missed this. This happened. This is Lil Nas X. His new single is coming out, dedicated to the man who had the greatest comeback of all. He's calling the single J. Christ.
Wow.
He's also promoting the same music video that's going to be coming out. He is desperate for your attention. He's desperate for your outrage. This is the only way that he can make money. Here's another video of him. He's taking shots during a communion.
Wow.
It didn't work this time around. You probably.
Wow. Okay. I get it now.
Mocking Jesus again. Lil Nas X has a song featuring Jesus Christ. He says it's coming out tonight. And look at the promotional material for his new music.
Wow.
What is this? And this. This is the same guy that was stripping for the devil.
I was just finna say that.
A year and a half ago. I mean, look at this. I mean, but he won't be the first and he won't be the last because they've been doing it. Here we go.
That's true. They definitely been doing it. He won't be the last person. So I guess this definitely clears up a lot from my confusion on what's been going on within this situation. That is not right. But that's why a lot of people have been getting on his top about this. And I'm really surprised that a lot of people of substance has been coming out and honestly speaking their truth about the situation regarding this. Like how it's not fair that he constantly do this, but you're not going to do this to no other religion. But you constantly do this to people who you feel like is not going to say anything. But I feel like it's a deeper purpose, which is I know a lot of you all can answer that question for me. I don't really need to say it, but yeah, I get it, man.
The U.S. government is finally exposed. So for you who don't know, the U.S. government is finally exposed. So for you who don't know,
wait a minute. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't care about the government being exposed right now because they getting exposed. So this got to be some type of, this got to be some type of costume, because this ain't no way. This would have been blowing up all over the internet. This can't be true.
The U.S. government is finally exposed. So for you who don't know, 3 witnesses had a hearing in Congress about aliens, and they exposed as much as they could.
Yeah,
this man saw images of
his hand is in the thing. Okay, his hand was in the back of it. So this is just a mask.
The U.S. government is finally exposed. So for you who don't know, 3 witnesses had a hearing in Congress about aliens, and they exposed as much as they could. This man saw images of what real aliens look like, and this is what he said.
The image was of something that I am not able to attach to any human capability, either from the United States or from any of our adversaries. And they saw a sequence of 4 craft in a clear diamond formation. One of the pilots goes to check out that diamond formation and sees a large floating, what I can only describe as an orb, again, like I said, not of any human capability that I'm aware of.
Now, during this hearing, they exposed the government's program where they tried to reverse engineer crashed UFOs. And during the reverse engineering process, apparently bad things have happened to people. They've also collected everything they could get their hands on, including alien bodies. And a lot of questions asked to the witnesses they couldn't answer publicly. This is all historical news and really strange news at the same time. We might get another hearing if Congress approves, but until then, hopefully the witnesses are safe.
Wow. Yeah. Hopefully them witnesses are safe, man. Allegedly this went on. I do hope whoever is covering it is safe, because it's a lot of things that they're letting us know, but this is all weird. And it looks crazy. Even though this is a mask, that stuff look crazy.
We need to talk about this photo. This photo was discovered by a single mother who recently bought a new phone. She came home, placed her phone on the table, and started watching TV. But soon after that, her son found the phone and asked to play with it. She agreed, thinking nothing unusual was gonna happen. But around 11 p.m. that same night, the mother decided it was time to go to bed. Strangely though, she found her son already in bed, which was very unusual for him. Normally, he'd want to stay up a lot longer. That's when she noticed her new phone was still in her son's hands. So she took it from him and unlocked the phone. At first, only seeing some minor changes. He changed the background on her phone and took a few pictures around the house, nothing too alarming. But since the photos seemed random, she started deleting them. Until she saw something that shocked her. This was the last photo on her camera roll, showing her son sleeping, but the photo was taken by someone else above him. Follow for more stories.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, Chad. I would have been flipping out. We would have been out of that house the same day. I'm out. You can now touch people through a device and they'll feel it in real life using the new shape-shifting display. Hear me out, chat. Nah, that's crazy. That is crazy. Wow. Chat, hear me out, right? Hear me out right quick. Just imagine. They gonna turn this up. Some guys, some people, hey, when these streamers and these only OF people get a hold of this, they go turn up. Y'all saw what they did to the. You saw what they did to the flashlight at the end. A lot of people are going to abuse this device. I know a lot of y'all right now. Distant dating is gonna be a breeze. I'm distant dating, yo significant other gonna be across the world. It's gonna be a breeze, chat. I know a lot of y'all probably thinking about that.
Allegedly taken at a U.S. military base in Iraq in 2018. Just released by a journalist named Jeremy Corbell, who claims that it was buried by the intelligence community. Look at this, bro. He calls this thing, whatever craft it is, Jellyfish. You can see why, because it floats with like dangling appendages.
That is crazy.
The footage was shot at night, and I'm quoting that they used thermographic forward-looking infrared imagery. But interestingly, the object could not be seen with regular night vision gear. And some of the troops who were at the base weren't even aware it was up there. Others were told to hunt it down.
What? I don't get this. I don't get this. They said it couldn't be seen with normal night vision. It had to been seen on a more advanced. Like, this stuff looks fake. I'm not even going to lie. I have to look up some more of this. But it's crazy to know that this stuff is now coming out.
Good evening, Natasha.
Let's start with the Jellyfish UFO video released by Jeremy Corbell. This is over a U.S. base in Iraq. What do you make of this video surprising so many people this week?
Look, the problem, there's one issue.
At an airbase. This is what's getting me right now. How was this at an airbase and nobody knew? And nobody knew. Like, I feel like that this possibly could have been some type of militarized device. Because how don't they know? Like, okay, let me shut up and we'll go listen. But I didn't know that at first.
I have with that video, and it's an issue with a lot of imagery that we see of UAPs. I don't doubt that it's come from sources who've told Jeremy and George Knapp that it is a UAP. The issue with the video is that we're told that it descended into water and then it came out of the water after 17 minutes and was seen to head off at speed at 45 degrees, which suggests some kind of intelligent control. The problem is, the best part of the description of the account is not on video. So it doesn't bear out on video what we're being told happened in that incident in Iraq. And whilst I'm not saying it's not a UAP, I'm not the person that's been talking to the sources that have told George and Jeremy this. I do wonder, though, whether it's possible to get more of the video to be able to validate it further.
Yeah, I really appreciate you bringing this up because Jeremy, as you say, has claimed that the extended version of this video shows the UFO diving underwater, re-emerging 17 minutes later at this high rate of speed, this angle you mentioned. To your knowledge, does any man-made tech have that sort of trans-medium capability?
There are some drones that are in development that are capable of going underwater and then coming out into the air. But I think what we're seeing here is an object that's not consistent with normal drone technology. It's something completely off the wall, frankly, in terms of what we would think of as something that's capable of doing that kind of movement. But unfortunately, we haven't seen that entry and exit into and out of the water. So it's very, very hard to make a conclusion.
Ross, why wouldn't he release that extended part of the video?
Look, I can't speak for Jeremy, but maybe he doesn't have it. I mean, sources are often very difficult people, sometimes for very good reasons. They don't leak a full video. I've been in that experience myself. It's a very frustrating game working as a journalist, dealing with sources on this UAP issue. There might be identifying marks on the video at that point which would allow the source to be identified. I don't know. I mean, from what I understand, though, I understand Jeremy said that the object was under observation and seen to enter the water and then to exit the water after 17 minutes. So maybe the simple explanation is he didn't get a copy of the video showing the entry and the exit to and from the water, but his sources have told him that that was the case.
I'm confused. Like, come on, let me finish it.
It's frustrating, but frankly, we journalists are only ever as good as the sources that feed us.
Agreed and understood. Ross, this was a topic coming up that really piqued my interest tonight. You were approached with new video we hadn't seen from Sydney, Australia, of a similar looking UFO. You have not been able to verify if this object is unidentified in nature. What are we seeing here? When was this taken? And how does it compare to the other jellyfish video from Iraq?
I was approached by somebody from Sydney who I haven't been able to contact back to actually ask to be able to name them, but they're happy for me to use and describe the video. And essentially it does look like a jellyfish. And in the actual audio of the video, the guy, while he's filming it, describes how it looks like a jellyfish. The problem I have, and journalistically, I can't reach any conclusion on this video. We just don't know enough about it. It could be a bunch of party balloons that have been stuck together and put up in the sky. But the gentleman that I engaged with online who told me that he'd recorded this video just in the last few weeks, he said it didn't look like balloons. But the simple fact is, I personally think we can't reach conclusions about this kind of imagery. We have to look for default to prosaic possible explanations, mundane explanations. And I think, frankly, the most likely explanation is that it's a bunch of party balloons. Let's conclude that until we hear evidence otherwise. But I'm told there are anomalous objects seen like this jellyfish shape all over the world. I've been in touch also with somebody from Eastern Europe who's told me that they've been seen over there. The simple fact is we need sharper cameras and we need better quality vision overall to make sure that we can actually make any conclusions about this kind of imagery.
Thank you for watching. Go to News Nation now.
Man, hold on. I ain't going nowhere yet. Chad, I feel like out of all the technology we got in this world, and it flies over a U.S. I don't want to say U.S. Let's just say an airbase in general, because I guess this was in Iran or something like that, Iraq, in a base in Iraq, and nobody knew. An airbase, like they be on. Come on now, in Iraq at that. America already has a lot of problems with Iraq, but the fact that they didn't know it was something flying above them in their militarized area. And it supposedly came out the water, and I personally feel like that this could be one of their ships. Like, I could be wrong, but that's just my intuition that I personally feel like that it could be the airbase's ship. And they're possibly not trying to tell folk. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's the same thing how it took them all these years just to expose that they had an actual corpse that they showed in court. Actually, that they're somewhere like reverse working on to turn it into a weapon. So what if this just is the success, reverse working on that UAP, that they figured out how to actually use it? I don't know. Like, it's a lot of questions that I have in here. And I wonder what y'all questions are down below, because I just don't see how every footage that we see that's revolving these things in the new year, the quality looked like it was recorded on a rock in the Flintstone era. Let's watch this and then we'll get into the
person I mentioned before, Jeremy Corbell himself. He released the Jellyfish video to the world, and some of his previous discoveries have led to congressional hearings. He had a front row seat for David Grush's testimony in July, and you can see right there to the right in the back in the green shirt, there he is. And you can see all of this for yourself in TMZ Presents UFO Revolution on Tubi. Take a look.
You've said that the U.S. has intact spacecraft.
Particularly because of today. What are your reactions to what we didn't learn today?
Sure. Yeah. So first of all, I just want to say it's George Knapp, my mentor in journalism, and also myself, and we obtain and we release videos if it doesn't compromise national security, and the Jellyfish is one of them. Today was a historic day. So it was a classified briefing in a secret compartmentalized room. They call it a skiff. It was a huge day. I've actually heard what went on in that skiff. You know, being an investigative journalist, I have eyes and ears everywhere, you know, which people hate, but it's true. There were about 15 members that were there. It was unified. It was across the aisle. The biggest takeaway that I got was that when I was told what was discussed in there, it was not just, oh yeah, we validated David Grush is an intelligence officer. I asked specifically, there was validation of his specific claims about UFOs when it came to his public discussion, what he did in Congress, which I helped set up, that public congressional hearing. So that was big news. I think the biggest takeaway, Ashley, and thank you for covering this, but you're going to cover it more, because the biggest takeaway, we're going to have more hearings on UFOs, and we're going to crack this open.
And this business that Representative Luna said afterwards that kind of made me shudder, that people have been hurt. They've been hurt trying to keep things secret, and they've been hurt trying to make them public. Do you have any wisdom or intelligence on that, Jeremy?
Yeah, of course. I know specifically what's being referenced there. And unfortunately, it is a reality that this information about UFOs, UAPs, same thing, it's regarded as higher than weapons of mass destruction. And there's a reason for that. So there has been pressure put on, not just from the public, not smash pieces in the media, but actual pressure put on by private corporations and also certain agencies or factions of agencies. And it is unfortunate. And I think that you can hear those details. I think those details will come out. But let's focus on the important part. The important part is people have courage. David Grush gave people courage. And this is important because it's allowing other people to come forward. People come to me and George Knapp and they leak information. And that's great. As journalists, we can absorb that and try to see if it's valuable to put out. But having somebody stand up there under oath in front of Congress and say, we've been reverse engineering UFOs. They represent non-human intelligence, not just craft, but biologics, which means bodies. And the fact this was said in a public realm, and now Congress, and they've been seeking answers, are starting to understand the gravity and the weight that this is true. I mean, it's really a historic moment. I think that's going to sink into people in a little while.
Is it coincidental that it is this week that the Jellyfish video ended up being released for all of us to see, and then there's this hearing, and as an addendum to that, Do you think that that particular video was discussed today?
All I can say is that being a strategist, what's really important is that we can make a lot of noise and get things into public consciousness when it will have most effect. Now, this meeting has been on the books for a while. George Knapp and I have been sitting on this footage for about 3.5 years. We've been trying to figure out the best way to get it out if we can verify it from firsthand witnesses, which we sure did. So as we unfold this story, it kind of seems like perfect timing today, right?
It sure did. One quick question about the source for David Grush. It seems from some reporting that the source is Air Force. Do you have any thoughts or any connections to either confirm or deny that?
The source for David Grush, what do you mean?
That the source who has been telling and giving information to David Grush as well is Air Force based as well. Do you know if there's a connection to the Air Force when it comes to David Grush's revelations?
I think there's a misunderstanding here. So let me break it down for your audience. So it's not one source for David Grush. David Grush was a career intelligence officer who was mandated by the UFO study group within our government to look at the black programs. He interviewed more than 40 people, and then he brought that information forward, gave it to the Inspector General of the intelligence community, and they then interviewed those 40 people plus. So that he doesn't have like a source. David Grush has an army of people that came to him in his official capacity for our government to look into this. And he blew the whistle saying that we have spacecraft from somewhere else that represent non-human intelligence. I think it gets confused for people. It's not like somebody told something to David Grush, just one person. This is a guy who was tasked by our intelligence agencies to do this job. He did it, and he found out that there were secret programs being held back from Congress and from oversight. So he blew the whistle on that and came forward in that congressional hearing. I think the stories get mixed up, but now you know.
Well, and I was always under the impression that some of the most alarming material that he brought forward was actually brought forward to him from a source he couldn't allude to, but that some have suggested it had come to him from the Air Force. But I see there are a lot of sources that he was
But what you're talking about there is he said when he was up there in the public setting, if you can get me a secure room and you can get the authority to hear what I have to say, I'll spill the beans. That's what he said. So they were fighting to get that environment.
Jeremy Corbell, I'm going to pencil you in for another visit because this story's not over. Like you said, more hearings ahead. Thank you so much for this.
Yeah, man. That is wild, bro. So just a lot of stuff that's going to be coming to light, man.
Secret. And I asked him, what secret is he talking about? He said, yes, America is Egypt. He was like, that's what the Seminole War was about, the Louisiana Purchase was about. And he was like, look up this map. It's called Tamari. And he said, y'all, it's Tamarikans. So I went to look up at the map, right? And I was amazed he was right. He was like, that's y'all true nationality. And he was like, when the Seminole War broke out, that's when they won and they took over America and started calling them Americans, and they spelt it different. And the Bible is based upon y'all. All pastors know this, Freemasonry know this, everybody know this.
Pyramid on the Nile in Northeast Africa doesn't have stair steps going up it. It doesn't have temples on top of its summits. They could not go and break through the boat on the temples atop those great pyramids. There are none there. And that was the clue that Egypt was writing about the Americans. And the deeper I got into the records, the clearer it got. They started actually saying, and because Amun loved that land so much, he said it's his beloved land, and that word was Mary, the beloved. Mary, M-E-R-I, Mary. And the land, of course, as before, is Ta, the beloved land, Ta-Mary. And they kept that name and just put the Ta on the end of it, so Ta-Mary became a Mary Ta. We simply say America. We kept the name that Egypt gave to the Americans. So that was the big mystery behind that $10 million map that Martin Waldseemüller made and then put the name America on it in 1507. And then those who knew and those who were trying to hide things said, wait a minute, you can't put that name on here. And the next time he reprinted that map, it was off. It was gone. Because that's the name that Egypt had given the land.
Now you know your name.
Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this, though. This entire episode was, honestly, it was eye-opening. You know, I tell you this all the time. I'm not a teacher, I'm a learner. So, I mean, if you all want to learn with me as well, and you're also on a learning journey, then please make sure to hit that subscribe button, because I'm telling you all, we're almost to the road to 1 million subscribers. But more importantly, please make sure if you enjoyed this compilation and will help with ranking of this algorithm, of this matrix, you all hit that like button. The more likes that this video get, the higher that it will rank. I promise you. And shoot, I guess we'll see you tomorrow.